Hello and welcome to episode 183 of Rivers Arcade Review. My name is Ed. This channel is dedicated to the coin-operated video games of yesteryear. Today I'm doing a viewer request. Today's game was requested by the viewer Wasabialt, sorry if I got that wrong, and the game they requested was iRobot. iRobot was released in 1983 by Atari. My first time playing this game was on MAME. iRobot is a shooter game in which you control a robot named Unhappy Interface Robot number 1984 with a 4-way joystick and a fire button. This game takes place in George Orwell's futuristic vision of Earth in the year 1984, in which Big Brother is watching is the main theme. This robot is a servant that has become self-aware and rebels against Big Brother. The game begins with the Game Select screen. You could choose between iRobot the game and Doodle City the ungame. I will cover iRobot the game to start. This game is one of the first games using 3D simulation using solid 3D polygons. Once you land on the 3D platform, your gameplay will begin. You need to move your robot around a 3D maze. There will be multiple gaps that you can jump across. All you have to do is move the joystick in the direction you want to jump since there is no jump button. Once you jump a gap, it will fill in so you will no longer have to jump it again. You could also change the view of the game. Pressing the 1-player button will lower your view, and pressing the 2-player button will raise your view. There will be a large eye in the distance signifying that Big Brother is watching you. The eye will change between 3 colors, red, yellow, and green. When the eye is red, you can't jump between the platforms because it will shoot you. When the eye is green, it will close and it will remain closed for about 5 seconds, allowing you to safely jump across the gaps. After 5 seconds, the eye will open and be yellow, warning you that it is no longer safe to jump the gaps. After another second and a quarter, the eye will turn red, signifying that if you jump the gap, the eye will shoot your robot, costing you a life. After about a third of a second, the eye will return to green and close, making it safe once again to jump. The timing of the eye will change based on which level you are, and it will be displayed at the beginning of each level. The object of the game is to defeat the eye by shooting it. There will be a shield blocking the final gap to the eye. There will be a number of red tiles on the floor of the maze. You need to move your robot over these red tiles to change them to blue to weaken the shield. The number of red tiles is displayed on the shield, letting you know how many you still need to convert. Each level will be timed via a bonus timer. You'll begin each round with 4,500 points on the timer. The timer will decrease continually at about 100 points every 1.5 seconds. If you fail to complete each level before the timer runs out, you will lose a life. There will be birds flying across the maze that you must avoid or shoot, because contacting one will cost you a life. If you lose a life, you will begin at the beginning of the maze, although the remaining number of red tiles needed to change will not reset. Once you have converted all except one red tile, you will be able to jump the final gap. Once you collect the red tile after the final gap, you'll automatically shoot the eye, destroying it. Once you defeat the eye, you'll receive bonus points for the remaining time on the clock. After receiving the bonus, you will now fly into space. You'll fly through a series of floating objects. You must either shoot or avoid these objects because contacting one will cost you a life and you will return to the beginning. First enemy in space you will face will be the pyramids. These enemies will require one shot to destroy them. The next enemy you will face will be the floating globes. These globes will require 8 shots to destroy them. Once you pass these space enemies, you will enter a new maze. This maze will have a new layout which requires you to jump many times across gaps, meaning you will need to use extra caution when jumping to avoid the eye. The space portion will also have a different layout, although the same enemies. Level 3 will once again have a new layout, although now there is something new, a floating yellow ring. This ring will raise and lower on the center row of tiles. You must time your movement across because contacting the ring will cost you a life. This level will also have a transporter. Entering the transporter will advance you up to 3 levels ahead by your choice, although if you hold down the 1 or 2 player buttons, you will be able to transport up to level 10. The higher the level you choose, the more bonus points you'll earn. You only have about 9 seconds to use the transporters or they will disappear. Just like before, once you convert all except one red tile, you'll still need to jump the shielded gap, although once you get there, you will still receive the bonus points and now you will face a bonus section. In this section, there will be 7 floating jewels that you can collect for bonus points. Although the bonus section isn't timed, you still need to complete in a timely manner. There is a new enemy in this section, which is a buzzsaw. This enemy will continually advance and cut away the floor. If the saw reaches your robot, you will lose a life and the bonus round will end and you will advance to the space portion of the game. Level 4 will have a maze with many more jumps to reach the red tiles. After defeating the eye, you'll enter the space portion, although now there is a new challenge, a giant head. This head will shoot spikes from its mouth toward your robot. You need to shoot all of these spikes because if one makes it to your robot, it will turn around and hit you from behind, costing you a life. We were able to shoot the head to cause it to rotate. Shooting it once will cause it to spin in one direction, and shooting it again will cause it to spin in the opposite direction. Anytime the head isn't facing forward, it won't be able to shoot at you, keeping your robot relatively safe. You can't destroy the head, although you only need to survive about 20 seconds, and you will pass underneath it to the next maze. Level 5 has a new enemy, which are giant rainbow spheres made of pyramids. You need to avoid these spheres because they are invulnerable. Level 6 brings something new to the game, shootable walls. These walls will be darker blue than the regular blue walls and tiles. You'll need to shoot these walls to carve a path to access the red tiles. This level adds a new enemy, which are floating soccer balls. These soccer balls will fly at you and must be shot or avoided because contacting one will cost you a life. After completing the maze portion of this level, you will enter the bonus area in which you need to collect the gems while avoiding the buzzsaw. Level 7 brings on a new challenge, which are elevator walls. These walls are orange in color and will raise and lower in a steady pattern. You need to leap on these platforms when they are low enough to make it to the red areas. The space portion after the maze will have a new challenge, which are porcupines. These enemies not only can't be destroyed, but shooting one will cause it to get mad and attack your robot. Level 8 has a new enemy, which are space sharks. These sharks must be avoided since they are invulnerable. These sharks will swim up one row and down the next and return to the first. These sharks will make it harder to convert the red tiles. After the maze section, you will face another head in space. This time it will fire spikes faster than before. Level 9 will have moving mines on the floor of the maze. These must also be avoided since they are invulnerable, and contacting one will cost you a life, although if one hits your robot, it will not return for your next life. Level 10 will have a zigzag maze with shootable walls. Once you finish the maze, you'll enter the space portion, which begins with a maze of tankers that you must fly through. Shooting these tankers will change them into porcupines, which will chase you down. Once you pass the tankers, you can shoot the rest of the enemies. Level 11 will take place on a maze of floating red tiles. You need to use caution because you need to keep close watch on the ice since you have to continuously jump. The space portion is the same as the others, although harder. Level 12 takes place on another maze that requires you to do a lot of jumping. After completing the red tiles, you'll enter another bonus round where you can collect gems before the buzzsaw catches you. After the bonus portion, you will face another floating head that is even harder than before. You will play the bonus round after levels 3, 6, 9, and every 3 levels thereafter, and you will face the floating head after levels 4, 8, 12, and every 4 levels thereafter. It is possible to play a bonus round and a floating head in the same level. Unfortunately, due to this game's difficulty and not offering save states, I was unable to get past level 12. At the beginning of the video, I mentioned a second game. The second game, or ungame here, is Doodle City the Ungame. Doodle City is just like the name implies. You can draw on screen using all of the game's sprites. Controls are simple. You move the cursor with your joystick, you can change the sprite with the fire button, you can spin the sprite with the player 2 button, and you can clear the playfield by pressing the player 1 button. Pressing both player buttons will bring you to the special menu. Use the joystick to select the menu item you wish, then press the fire button. You can turn off the flicker of the cursor, change the color palette of the sprites with 6 options, memory mode which allows you to record your drawing, change the view of the drawing, allow multiple objects, turn instructions on and off, turn the music on and off, return to the doodle game, and return to the main game. The doodle portion is timed and you'll receive about 3 minutes per credit, although it is slightly longer. And for each minute that you draw, you'll have 1 less life to play in the main game. Scoring for the game is as follows. You earn 25 points for converting each red tile and shooting the soccer balls, and 250 points for shooting the birds. For the bonus round, you will earn 100 points for the first jewel, and it will increase 100 points per jewel. You'll earn 1 point for shooting the first pyramid, and it will increase 1 point until you reach 10 points. For shooting the spheres, you'll earn 1 point for the first hit, and it will increase 1 point until the 6th hit, and then on the 7th hit, you will earn 10 points. If your maze ending bonus score beats the best, or you get the best score for the space section, you'll earn a 2,500 point bonus, and you will earn 999 point bonus if you shoot all the pyramids during the space section. Even though it was my first time playing this game, I wasn't a fan due to the difficulty, although I can't condemn a game purely on my lack of ability to play. I like this game more than Scramble, but not as much as Gunsmoke, so iRobot fights its way into the 174th position overall. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any games you'd like me to review, please leave a message below or on my homepage. Please remember hit like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned to new videos every Sunday.